Engelsktalande. Jag ville passa på att välkomna er allihopa på svenska. Och om det är någon som känner att engelskan är lite sådär jobbig, då kan man sitta tillsammans med någon och kan fylla i lite. Och alltid när vi kommer till frågestunden så kan man ställa sina frågor på vilket språk du vill och vi ser till att man får svar på sina frågor. So right about now I will be switching to English. Because that will be the language of our deliberations this evening. You're kindly welcome to the Café Pan-Africa. As always on Wednesday evenings we get together and discuss the most pertinent topics concerning our African continent, where we all come from. As always, the cafe is open. Please help yourselves, don't be shy. And also, in the pause, you can have a look at the new Pan-Africa shop right behind the curtains there, and you can buy yourself some African attire or souvenirs or whatever. But back to the issue of today. Our guest today, Mr. Abdullahi Taib, has a resume that is longer than me myself. He has been a tireless activist for peace and stability in Somalia and in the greater region. He has been living in Sweden and he's back here.
Canada.
Right now he's in Canada though, but he comes to Sweden time to time to help to shed some light on the situation in Somalia, and as a member of the diaspora, work in order to mobilize the diaspora for the peace and prosperity of Somalia. So what he will be doing today is he'll try to give us a background to the current situation of Somalia, and also tell us about what's going on today, because so many new things have come up on the agenda, like the London conference that you all saw in the news, and he'll try to help us understand what is really going on. And I think after his lecture we'll have a brief pause, and then you can ask him any kinds of questions or give comments, and together, as always here at the Café Pan-Africa, we'll try to make more sense of what's going on in Africa. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our guest forward and give the floor over to him.
Hello everybody. As he was saying, my friend, I'm a diaspora from 1971. I don't look like, I look like young. I'm too old. So, and I used to live in Italy, and then I came here in 74 to Sweden, then I moved in Canada, and I been active from 85, and I used to work with ACP, African Caribbean Pacific London Convention from Brussels. So I'm going to update you what it looked like Somalia before the disaster. Many people just understand in Somalia, fighting Al-Shabaab and all that, but the past, how it was good in Somalia. So there's a program here, which taken by 1980, a Swedish reporter about Somalia, a former president who died. So we will show you that. It takes about 10 minutes. Then I'll show you other things after that.
colonial domination. And then I come with this small school, soldier, and then I went on since where I am now. That was my career.
Mogadishu, Somalias huvudstad, har uppstått från havet. En viktig hamn för de gamla handelsvägarna för kanel och rökelse. Genom historien har staden varit arabisk, portugisisk, persisk och italiensk. De jemenitiska kvarteren med sina åldrade men värdiga hus har funnits här sedan 1200-talet. Nu har historien glömt bort Mogadishu. En religion och ett språk förenar det somaliska folket. Landet blev självständigt 1960 och trots god vilja och ansträngningar för att utveckla landet är Somalia med sina 5 miljoner invånare fortfarande bland världens 25 fattigaste länder. Sedan han tog makten 1969 har Sia Barre försökt förändra det somaliska samhället. Medlet skulle vara den vetenskapliga socialismen. Det var framförallt med hjälp av Sovjetunionen som han inledde en rad utvecklingsprogram, men de hann inte långt. Sovjet övergav Somalia för att istället stödja grannlandet och fienden Etiopien. Are you still a socialist?
Well, I think you can understand from our organizations. We believe, we are for it, because this our society needs. We are not devolved, we are not industrialized, we are not we are not making competitions for business. We are not interested, we cannot do it. We don't want to fight neither honor or another. We want to live in peace with who understand the meaning really of peace.
Varje avbrott i vardagen är uppskattat i Mogadishu. På torsdagarna paraderar militären genom stan. När förbindelserna med Sovjet avbröts hoppades man på stora mängder militärhjälp från USA. Men det blev inte så. Istället kom man överens om att USA skulle använda Somalias hamnar och flygfält för sin nya slagstyrka för Mellanöstern. I utbyte fick Somalia 20 miljoner dollar om året i militärhjälp. En armé på 100 000 man kostar Somalia över 40 miljoner dollar om året. USAs militära bistånd räcker inte långt.
United States is a big country. Therefore, we have been working for nearly 10 years, even more, with the Soviet Union. They were very generous, truly. They are very generous in training, in giving technology, which is good things. Okay, then we agreed in politics, and they shifted from us. They thought that America could have made a kind of equilibrium, particularly in economic development and social development. But unfortunately, it seems that they go very slow, and they are too bureaucratic. This is why they're not happy, as we were thinking.
Why are they competing on Africa?
Because they want to dominate. That's one of them should dominate. It's a question of domination, nothing else.
Are you disappointed in Western politics in East Africa?
Well, frankly, I'm not happy as things are now, or dragged since now. I told you before, please, take back all your weapons. Leave us with our stick, and our spear, and arrows. We will kill each other for few, and then we simply, absolutely will agree at the end. But these destructive weapons that you are selling us, or you are giving us, are destroying thousands, hundreds of people, very easily, destructive. Or otherwise, if you don't allow us to make our war in our own way, if you cannot, make us work to agree in a very, very equilibrium way. So this, no one will try to go on the other. That's what I say, and that's what I believe.
But what kind of mistakes they are doing outside the war?
Mistakes is to give you, so if we are fighting here, you and me, to give you more weapons and to allow, refuse the other to not to have more weapons. That means you will have more. You believe that you can surprise the other. So this begins, and no one knows how and when it will stop this.
Which year is this?
It's 2005. Yeah, 2005. 7 years ago. Which we were talking peace. And there was a conference in Kenya at that time, which I was mobilizing. Is this in Kenya or Somalia? Mogadishu. joogo waxaana ku shaqaynaa maadaama uu qadiyaddan ka mid yahay isimadii oo lagu casuumay ayuu asna wariya ka baxsanay waligaana assalaamu calaykum waraxmatullah. It was 2005. There was a meeting in Nairobi regarding on a conference, which we have to mobilize the Somalis. They should accept it to have a government, because we say without government we cannot run the country, because private sector can only run their own business. But when you need infrastructure, or you need health, or you need health, you need all that, you have to have a government. And it's been Somalia from 91. As you see in Siad Barre, that was 1980 when the Russian shifted to Ethiopia and the American came to Somalia. So, and the problem in Somalia, there was so many arms in Mogadishu. It went to the hand of the public, and that's why they couldn't control it anymore. Now, then they changed the system. 2000, it was 2006, 7, they have conference in Djibouti, which they nominate new president again. Sheikh Sharif was fighting by Islamists with Abdullah Yusuf, former who passed away. So the issue in Somalia is not because of Somalia. They are interfering for many people has been interfering in Somalia. And there is always problem with a border problem we have with Ethiopia and Kenya. And today Somalia, after that Sheikh Sharif became president of Somalia, it used to be Islamist, but Shabab became the part of separate. And up to now, they defeated Shabab, but now they're using technique like what happened in Iraq, or it's happened in Afghanistan, suicide. So military they are weak, but now you don't know who's Shabab, who's not Shabab. So people coming and killing others, each other. And there was also in international issue, as much as you see the piracy from Somalia, people talk about the sea, how many they kidnapped, how many people has passed away. There was issue in Kenya, the tourist that was kidnapped by a woman and her husband. There was another group, MSF also was being kidnapped by the border of Kenya. So now they held a conference in London on 24 February. Now international, they are really trying. They wanted to see Somalia. They cannot wait any longer. The reason they are interested in Somalia, now they hear about there is a petrol, one of part of Somalia in Puntland. And now they are talking about there's a lot of resource. So international now, they decide, after they seen the problem of Middle East, what's happening, now they have problem with Iran. So they're trying to shift in Somalia. And many internet, like British, there was interested, there was a company called BP, was interested to have a petroleum agreement in Somalia. And there is a group now, research they are making in Puntland, they call African Oil, they're Canadian also. And before that has the contract, what they call company Australian. So the issue of Somalia, international has looking now better than ever before. After 21 years, Somalia has been law and there was no law and order accepted. Recently they have Somaliland, they have relative peaceful, and Puntland has a relative peaceful. The rest of Somalia, it's really mess between, and there was a Kenyan army came, and they are now joined with AMISOM 3 days ago, actually 5 days ago. So Ethiopian, they invaded also with the border of Somalia. Kenya is there. Peacekeeping, there are AMISOM with Uganda. There is a Burundi, and there is a Uganda, Burundi, and Kenya. And now also Sierra Leone, they are coming also, they approve it right now. So the conference really, there was 1 day, 5 hours. It was not conference. I don't call conference for that because they call for the Somali people just to attend it. But international, there was 50 international countries who came, American, Islamic, Arab League, and they issued 26 things, and they said by August, Somalia should change, and they have new government, should be election by August. And they now have made it what they call roadmap for Somalia. That roadmap, they make 4 issues. The new constitution, which we had before on 60 constitution, now they are making new constitution, security, that's the priority. And it look like things moving as they are planning right now. We don't know what will happen by August, but the plan, and all the ministers in Somalia, including the Prime Minister, they are diaspora. Prime Minister is American. Many of them, they are Swedish. Deputy Prime Minister is Swedish Somali, and at the same time is a Minister of Commerce. You have Canadians, you have Italian, you have British, all Somalis who are now involved with the political, they are diaspora. And they are trying their best to change what they can. So now I would like to show you also the agreement they have in London, which you could see that, please. This was the conference in London, what it came out. So I hope, did you see everybody? Can you see?
I can make it a little bigger.
Yeah. This was the outcome of the London conference, the communicate. So at least you could read if you feel like.
Maybe should we help to read?
Or can you email it maybe?
Maybe I can just go over it very quickly because some people sitting in the back.
Yeah.
It says that the London Conference of Somalia took place at Lancaster House on 23rd February 2012, attended by 55 delegations from Somalia and the international community. We met at a key moment in Somalia's history. Somalia is emerging from the worst humanitarian crisis in the world. African and Somali troops have pushed Al-Shabaab out of Mogadishu and other areas. The transitional institutions come to an end in August 2012, and the people of Somalia want clarity on what will follow. The situation remains precarious and in urgent need of support from the international community. Decisions on Somalia's future rest with the Somali people. The Somali political leadership must be accountable to the people. The international community's role is to facilitate Somalia's progress and development. Our strength is in unity and coordinated support to Somalia. We noted the importance of listening to and working with Somalis inside and outside Somalia. How many pages are this document?
It's 26.
Not
pages,
maybe you can give us an
overall
overview. Just
yeah.
give us, yes.
Well, if they want also we could send the email.
And then we will send it to anyone who asks for it. Definitely.
Anyway, this issue was, they are talking about more the situation now in Somalia, what it is. And they confirm all international has committed today, Somalia must be changed by August. They should have a fair election, security-wise, and they also agree. We have 10,000 AMISOM, and now they increase on 17,000. And international community has been paying for each soldier, taking about $1,200 US. But the Somali police or Somali military is taking $100. Imagine the foreigners, AMISOM is taking 1,200, and the Somali police who are dying every day, they are taking $100, and sometimes 2 months or 3 months they don't even get the salary. That's why they cannot make peace. International AMISOM cannot make peace in Somalia. Somalis must make themselves peace. Because you cannot clean your house unless you clean yourself. Nobody can clean your house except you. And now, this is why they are pressuring. And most of the money they save it, they're willing to spend. AMISOM, and we try to say, try to give them at least $300, $400 Somali soldiers, and having 10,000 armed Somali can control the whole Somali, because we know each other and we speak the language. But AMISOM, they always with a compound of tanks and all that. They cannot move around. But the Somalis can move around each and one, and they know each other, these people. So the whole issue, we're hoping by August, things will change. And they say they will donate Somalia rebuilding after August. And they have to have a democracy election and all that. So now things moving as far as we could see, and we are hoping this transitional government, they might change. At least we're hoping by the end of August, May 15th, we will have a new, now the parliamentarian, it's 550 parliamentarian, which Somalia is 8 million. And we have 550 parliamentarian, which it's impossible. Even America doesn't have 550. So now they form it, they say the next member of the parliament would be 225, not more than that, because they cannot afford to pay the salary for that. And then they say should be qualified member of the parliament, they should have at least high school level in order to become a member of the parliament. And this member of the parliament, we don't have a fair election in Somalia. Still there is chaos. But the chief will elect it. The chiefs will bring these people, and the civic society, they will select it, the best people who will be coming as a member of parliament. We are hoping August things will be different, and then there will be election for the presidential election, and there will be that. Hopefully by September, we crossing the finger, Somalia will be different. So now I'm going to update you what's happened today in Mogadishu. Okay. This is the National Theatre of Somalia. It was built in 1968 by Chinese. This morning, there was Prime Minister, member of the parliament, journalists, some of the Somali singers. There was suicide bomb this morning. There was a lady who carried out suicide bomb. 30 people has wounded, and about 6 people has died this morning. And the two of them, which I know very well, it was a chairman of Somali Olympic in Somalia, which has been more than 30 years in the business of Olympic of Somalia. And that's what happened, the situation in Somalia. Suicide bomb. Not a man, it's a lady, a young lady who came inside and blow up everything. And that's what we are really facing in Somalia. And that's what they cannot do it by AMISOM. Only people who can do it, Somalis, who can help themselves. With support international, we say all the time, forget about peacekeeping. Try to develop, try to give the money for the police Somali, and they will work hard for that. But someone who's taking $100, he doesn't care what's happening. And Al-Shabaab always benefit. Shabaab is paying money for young people. At least daily they are giving $20 if they go to fight, $20 per day. Imagine daily days is $600. And government cannot afford to pay $100. So that's why young people go in the Shabab, because they don't have any resource. There is no education. There is no real government in Somalia. And this is what we are facing. And sometimes if you see your brother Somali, we are all of us, we are trauma, because we have, our family has passed away, our friends are killing each other. We are really in a chaos, and we are 21 years. No in the world country can be that way, how Somali they are living, and still they are surviving and they're traveling. But 21 years, nobody can live, not even single country can able to stay the way we are living today in Somalia. So we have to pray, all of us, to see Somalia and pray for all. Imagine the Prime Minister coming from his family. He was a professor in Buffalo in his state, and he accepted to come to Somalia to run the government. And today he was there. Unfortunately, it didn't happen anything for him. But others happened. So you don't know what will happen to you next morning or any minute for you. So brothers, if you see the Somalis, we are not bad people, but we are trauma. We have trauma. We have a good country. We have a good government. Somalia used to be solve all the problems. When Tanzania and Uganda, they've been fighting. When Malta aborted, and they tried to support Museveni, Somalia has made peace in Tanzania. They make a lot of peace in Uganda, in Kenya. Somalia, they used to be running, and they used to support. We had the academic, military, Rwanda officers. They've been going to school in Mogadishu. Burundi, they used to come to Somalia. And today, Somalia was supported by peacekeeping. And I mean, imagine, we had a government in 1960. And today we just back again. I don't know what it looked like Somalia. Anybody seen that? I mean, I live there and I work there. I'm a Canadian citizen and I'm living in here. But most of my time I spend in Somalia. And that's what I'm working, because I called. You cannot leave Europe saying, I'm okay. I mean, I like to see my family and my children to go back to Somalia, because that's where we are. And that's what we will be. Because you are somebody in your country. You are somebody in your country. I mean, how many African or foreigners coming here used to have a good position in their own country, and today they are in here, they don't have nothing. So it's better to solve our own problems in our country. And especially young generation, they should integrate the country they host. They belong in here. If they do something good in here, they can help their own country. Thank you very much. Anybody has questions?
Thank you for the very inspiring words. You know what we do? We take a 10-minute break. So write down your questions, think about them thoroughly before you open your mouth, I'll say. So in 10 minutes, we'll get back to that line, then you can ask all of your questions and make your comments. Thank you. In the meanwhile, have a nice time. Buy something from Mohammed, and we'll get back to it.
Han känner mig för mig imorgon. Det ska gå bra. Vi vet, fortsätter till sina rätt. Ja, till sina rätt. Men jag kommer inte
Ja, jag hoppas. Många tänker fortfarande på den här presentationen. Gillar det?
Det är så. Någon gång.
Historien.
Någon annan gång får jag dra någon. Jag vet, Iran eller Syrien eller någonting.
En analys.
Ja.
استعينوا بخطأ.
Kan vi stänga av den?